emergency alert system has been activated. All broadcast and cable systems shall transmit this emergency action notification message. This station has interrupted its regular program at the request of the White House to participate in the emergency alert system. During this emergency, most stations will remain on the air. If you are not in this local area, you should use the stations providing the information for your local area. You are listening to the emergency alert system. Do not use your telephone. The telephone lines should be kept open for emergency use. The emergency alert system has been activated.
Hello world, we are anonymous.
I believe it's not too late. Together we can change the world. Lay the puzzle pieces out, find out what it's all about.
We're going to change the world.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I believe it's not too late. Together we can change the world. Lay the puzzle pieces out, find out what it's all about. Together we can change the world. Can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for your help. Together we can change the world. Sail past where it's been shutting, roll your sleeves up and let's get started. Together we can change the world. Together we can change the world. With our hands and with our hearts, we can dare to make a start. Together we can change the world. What if we spoke with one voice, knowing that we have a choice? Together we can change the world. Can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for your help. Together we can change the world. Sail past where it's been shining, roll your sleeves up, let's get started. Together we can change the world. Together we can change the world. Change your mind and change your life. Set aside the fear and strife. Together we can change the world. When we open up our eyes and we start to realize, together we can change the world. Change the world. Can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for your change the world. Together we can change the world. Change the world. Sail past where it's been shining, roll your sleeves up, let's get started. Together we can change the world. Change the world. Can't do it by myself, so I'm asking for your change the world. Together we can change the world. Change the world. Sail past where it's been shining, roll your sleeves up, let's get started. Together we can change the world. Together we can change the world. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I believe it's not too late. Together we can change the world.
The terminology of awakening is perfect for what's happening on the planet. So many of us are having this spontaneous aha moment. It is this aha moment when we're seeing what is truly going on the planet. We're truly understanding our human potential. We're truly understanding our individual infinite potential and our connection to the infinite and the divine. At the same time, we're noticing and becoming more aware of corruption around the planet. We're becoming more aware of the mind games that are played by the media. We're becoming more aware of the mind games that are played by our political leaders, that are played by leaders within any particular movement or religion. These subtle ways of influencing people to, perhaps into some type of a mind control and a, how shall we say, Pavlovian way of reacting to certain things. When we are going through this awakening, we realize, oh yeah, I'm not falling for that again. One of my favorite memes that are going around Facebook, especially in the political aspect, is that picture of three check boxes, and one of them says Republican, the other one says Democrat, and the last one says awake. I'm not falling for that again. You know, and that's a great example of what's happening. We're seeing it around the planet. We're seeing people uprising. We're seeing everywhere from the Philippines to Russia to Greece to to Europe and France, and even a tiny little bit here in the United States. Not so much, but more and more we are starting to see people that have had enough. They want their lives back. They want their humanity back. They want their freedom back, and they're expecting it. There's like we expect this. We expect the world to be this way, and that is a part of the awakening process. To me, that awakening is not only spiritual; it's also a bit of geopolitical or activism as well. And this has been, I don't want to get too fluffy, but I will get into some of the details of what's been going on with our planetary history. I mean, the reality of it is that, we just went through this amazing, transitional 28,000 year cycle where, the galactic calendar, so to speak. And for those of you that don't understand the galactic calendar, there's so much information available to you out there, but it's basically our galaxy making its way around the astrological symbols, and it's a 28,000 year cycle. The Mayans spoke of it, the Aboriginals, Native Americans, and so many speak about the cycle of reawakening, of rebirth. It's almost as if the planet itself is going through an awakening process as well. And we got to thank our lucky stars that we are living during this wonderful time of change and evolution, eruption, creation, destruction, new beginnings, new paradigms. And unfortunately, it's not going to be an easy process, and I don't believe it's going to happen overnight for sure. But if we were to think about the history of our planet is what is it? I forget, but the reality of it is it's believed that human beings have been around for almost 2 million years, and you have to ask yourself, where is the history? Where is the evidence of these cultures? Even though they have found, let's say, bone fragments or tools of humans from up to 2 million years ago, we have to realize that somehow, some way, these cultures disappeared, and there's got to be a reason for that. And to me, life is cyclical. It's not linear, and it's definitely not linear logical. That usually gets us nowhere. But it is definitely cyclical, and perhaps we, as human beings, went through perhaps a cycle of greatness. We'd hear so much about Atlantis or the continent of Mu, and these wonderful evolved civilizations that just seem to have disappeared. So putting that all into perspective and putting that all into a way of perhaps wrapping our head around the timeline, quote, timeline of our cosmic relationship with our planet and with our universe. It's that we have gone through this wonderful cycle. We are going to a place where the Great Awakening is happening, and it cannot be denied. I know so many people are like, oh, no one's ever going to get it. We're not going to get it. The sheeple don't get it. Everyone's asleep. Blah, 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 blah. But you are seeing more and more and more. I mean, a great example, not to get too political in today's show, but a great example is seeing what's happening with the reaction to the Gaza situation. I have been an activist trying to bring attention to this for, 10 years now. I know many of us in the activist world, this has been an issue for us, but now we're seeing so many more people becoming aware of the situation, of the apartheid situation that's going on, and even the Israelis are aware of it now and are not following blindly to their state, their leader, Netanyahu. But again, I don't want to get political, but to me that is an example. If you want to look at the reality of people waking up to their humanity, waking up to our global community, I would say that's a great way to take a look at it, because the world is standing with Gaza, and unfortunately the United States government is the only government that is blindly staying with Israel. But again, this is not about that situation that was last week's show. But again, the example that we are awakening, so that's what I was trying to talk to you about. Now, many of us are, so what happens when you're going through the awakening? What is happening to us? Do we go through this aha moment? Are we getting psychic powers? Are we becoming able to be telekinetic? I mean, there's so many questions and so many different things that happen to us that it's very different for everybody. And I think people need to understand that what is happening with you in your life and your attention could be very different to what's happening to somebody else. Some of us go through nights without sleep, with very minimal sleep, and we don't need more sleep. Many of us go through temperature changes where we become very, very I am one of those people. As well, we'll see changes in appetite. We'll have different physical manifestations showing up, whether it be within our waking consciousness, our dreaming consciousness, and physically. Many people have a tendency to lose their appetite. Many people seem to lose their appetite but still put on weight. So many different things that are going on. I think the most important thing that happens with awakening, the awakening symptoms and ascension, is that we feel that we're going crazy. And, you know, as I'm saying this and I'm talking about these particular symptoms, that's not to say that there aren't some actual to be a part of what's going on. I think the most important thing that happens, or I feel the most important thing that happens to us when we're going through the awakening process, is that we know that something is happening, that something is changing. We're feeling different, and we really can't explain it. You know, our consciousness changes, our focus changes, our ideals start to change, and I think that is a very individual and spontaneous, a very common thing that seems to be going on. A lot of people start getting headaches. You know, I was one of these people. I started getting migraines out of nowhere, and recently they stopped. For about a year of my life, I would get migraines about every 2 or 3 weeks, and they recently just stopped. Not good. I don't know if it's come back, but that was a part of, I guess, my energy body shifting and my physical body accommodating the shifting that was going on with my energy body. But I remember, as a matter of fact, the most important thing I will say is that my migraines were based on the area of my crown chakra moving down to my forehead and my eyes. And I remember thinking, oh my God, what am I having, a brain tumor or something? Or, and it wasn't until someone said to me, you know, that's just your crown making room for more energy. And as I started realizing that it was my crown expanding, my crown chakra expanding to allow more energy through, and I gave it permission to do that, the headaches began to disappear. And knock wood, I've had several almost migraine experiences in the last, 2 or 3 months. But I will say, over the last 2 or 3 months, I really haven't had a full-on migraine, thank goodness. But some of the other things that I noticed that have happened to me, and I know are happening with some other people, is a sensitivity of our senses, whether it be touch or smell. I know that people will smell things that come out of nowhere and say, where's that smell coming from? And nobody else smells it but you, a very strong sensitivity. Our senses become heightened. Our vision sometimes begins to change. And I'm not talking about our age, I know I'm getting older, my vision's not getting much better. But some people begin to see, how shall we say, glimpses of shadows, or of a mist, or smoke, or flashes of light, or colors, or swirls of energy. People just notice these things out of the corner of their eye. And I want you to know you're not going crazy. That happens to be a very well-known fact, especially in esoteric circles, as you are developing your 6th, 7th, and 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th senses, that you are going to start catching glimpses of things out of the corner of your eye. I remember when I started going through this experience, I guess my second awakening, you could call it, that I would see this black, shadow come up out of the ground and then it would disappear into the floor again. It would come up out of the floor and it would disappear into the floor. And I was very concerned. I thought it was something very negative. You see dark shadows, the occult, scary demons or whatnot. And from my understanding now, I understand that it's the ability, or shall I say, it's a shift within your dimensional realities that you're now perceiving little clips in the time-space continuum, so to speak. You can actually see little, kind of like when a regular colors, old CRT TVs would go in and out and flicker in and out. You're getting a little flicker of perhaps what we call through the veil, or sensing some type of energy breakdown in that particular spot. We're seeing more and more of that now. And, a great example, a few years ago, we have that Norway's viral thing happening. That was like a shadow glimpse, flash of light for the entire world to see, where a particular dimensional portal was opened over Norway, and hundreds of thousands of millions saw it on the internet. So that's a very large-scale version of what I'm talking about. But we do have them personally and individually, little ones in our day-to-day life. So you're not going crazy, unless you are going crazy. And we're going to talk about that in a second. But again, going back to senses, I do notice that people start hearing strange sounds. They'll start hearing buzzing in their ears. They'll start hearing that ringing, and it's not that, what was that, tinnitus or whatever it's called, tinea. people become very sensitive to sound, and I noticed that for me, my surroundings, I prefer to have quiet. Now, all of a sudden, I need to have quiet because I've become so sensitive to sounds. Here I am, a former, headbanger, club goer, boom, 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 loud music for a majority of my life. And over the last several years, it's like I can't take loud sounds. I've become very sensitive to them. Especially, I just find them very distracting. I guess that's what I can say. For me, I'm very distracting. I need to have complete silence around me. I prefer to have complete silence around me. I get aggravated with birds chirping. It's like, oh my God, just be quiet. It just becomes, I've become very sensitive. So I actually, what I do is I like to have white noise. For anybody that's going through this, I'm sharing with you. I turn my AC on fan. That we don't have AC running, but I have the little buzzing fan in the background, the little vibration. I kind of cancels out all the external sounds of the small city that I live in, and the dogs, and birds, and everything else that's around. But it's not to say I don't love nature. I love nature, but my sensitivity to sound has really made it very difficult. So. Again, here I am talking about symptoms, and I'm just sharing this with everybody because I want everybody to know that, maybe there is a reason, and maybe that reason is because you are going through this awakening. And why we have symptoms, okay? Let me touch on that because we don't have